How's everybody doing today? There are a plethora of options that you could choose from when choosing a career. There are good careers and there are great careers. And we'll all make our choices, but no matter which one you choose, you are going to fail. As we all work towards finishing our degrees and figuring out what career path we want to go down, we have a choice to make. We have to decide what kind of career we want, and we have to understand there are sacrifices that have to be made for whatever decision that we make and we decide to pursue. Throughout our group, there is a lot of working career experience. All of us have been in a multitude of different jobs and positions, and we've seen how passion and drive can affect where you end up and where you go. And it's something that we have to take in stride. It's something that we have to work with and find what we truly want and where we want to be. While finding a great career is already hard in and of itself, we make it even harder on ourselves by making excuses and being lazy and having different tacks that get in our way. Why do we do this to ourselves? My fellow speakers, Amber, Anya, and Beyonce, in that order, are going to be talking about some of the main points that get in our way towards finding our great career. They're going to be talking about the excuses that we make, the difference between interest and passion, and the interference of life and values in getting towards our great career. So, why do people fail to have a great career?
Well, in Larry Smith's TED Talk titled Why People Will Fail to Have a Career, his concepts are both intriguing and relatable. For some, it may even be a hard truth to face. Larry Smith knows that this topic may be a hard pill to swallow, so he chooses his words strategically. He begins this talk by introducing himself, saying, I am an economist, I do dismal. At the end of the day, it's ready for dismal remarks. He uses this phrase with purpose. As an economist, he is an expert in economics and a personnel who collects and analyzes data, research trends, and evaluates economic issues for resources, goods, and services. He tells us this not because we consider that to be the great career that he's talking about, but instead to help us understand that in his line of work, it requires a lot of time and patience, and he spends most of his time analyzing, researching, and evaluating different situations. Therefore, he can apply those skills and techniques to the people around him, qualifying him to host this topic. He strategically uses the word dismal as well when referring to himself. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, the word dismal means sad, dark, and unhappy. By using that phrase to describe himself, we get the feeling that he has a blunt and cynical perspective and has no problem delivering news such as that people will fail to have a great career. He follows his introduction with his first main point that people will fail to have a great career. He goes on to explain that there are what he calls soul-destroying jobs, good careers, and then great careers, and either way you're going to fail. The reason people will fail to have a good career is because all the good jobs are disappearing, forcing you to choose between a soul-destroying job or a great career. And we will fail to have that great career because we are afraid and will make excuses. We are afraid of the challenges pursuing a great career may bring. Having a great career means following our dreams, our interests, and our passions, and that takes hard work. So instead, we make excuses for ourselves. Excuses like it's too hard, it's too late, I don't have enough time, it's too expensive. I'm sure many people can relate to this. I personally put off pursuing my passion for working with children in education. Once I found my passion, I made so many excuses as to why I couldn't turn that into a great career. I knew I would have to go back to school to get my degree, and I told myself I didn't have the time, there was too much going on, and it was too expensive. So I kept myself in what Larry referred to as a soul-destroying job until finally that job broke me. When that happened, I finally took the leap and decided to pursue my interests and passions. So, how do we differentiate between our dreams and our passions?
It is important to know the difference between a passion and an interest. The definition of an interest is wanting to know about something. The definition of a passion is a strong, barely controllable emotion. When you have an interest, you can have many interests. You could be interested in basketball, you could be interested in swimming or cooking. When you have a passion, it's almost the same thing, but it's just that you surround all your time on it and you're more interested in it. For example, I'll give an example. My cousin Shamor is interested in coding, so he buys all the coding books. He spends some of his time coding, but his passion is basketball. When he's off, he goes to the court. He spends all his day on the court. When he's eating, he watches basketball. He just lives with basketball. But why he's not going to pursue basketball is because he feels that it's a financial risk. As with many people, they don't pursue their passion because of that financial risk. They will more focus on their interest as a career. So he's going to school for coding, which is his interest, but he's not going to pursue basketball. He's not going to go try to get in the league or anything because he feels like he's not going to reach that level as in a career. He's not going to reach high up in that level as people want to be. And even myself as an example, I have an interest in psychology and I'm studying psychology right now in school, but primarily my interest would be social work, meaning not social work. It would be content creator. I want to be a content creator. I like being around people and stuff like that, but I feel like it's much harder to become a content creator or to get the level of to be high up in a content creator, like to have a lot of followers that could actually pay me and support me, because support is a problem. But that's the problem that most people have. They need a career that's going to support them with their lives, with their family, and themselves. So that's why people do not often pursue if they don't pursue their passion, they pursue their interest. So although you may know your passion, you're more than likely to pursue your interest.
And even when you find that passion, there's still a small chance that you will still fail. That is important. Sometimes when we value human relationships, for example, when we value becoming a great parent, when we value becoming a great friend or a great spouse, we tend to value that over valuing our great career. This is an option. You cannot value your family, you cannot value your relationship, you cannot value your lifestyle over your career, because in the end you're going to need those resources, that money that you got from that career, in order to contribute and provide for your family, to provide for your spouse, and even in some cases provide for your friends. In most cases with your friends, they're not as consistent as you want them to be. In most cases, they won't pay for your bills. So why would you spend time valuing becoming a great friend over valuing your career? Then once said, I am seeking, I'm striving, I'm in it with all my heart. That is how you value your career. Seek, strive, and be in it with all your heart. Give it everything you got. In an article called 3 Reasons It Is So Hard to Follow Your Passion, it states, to better pursue your passion, challenge your assumption that passion is something to be discovered. Focus on actively developing a passion. Always focus on developing your passion. Anya gave you multiple examples on how to find your passion and achieve your passion and choose between interest or passion. With these examples, it will guide you into becoming a great spouse, becoming a great friend, and becoming a great and having a great career.
Now that we've talked about what causes you not to have a great career and the excuses that we make and the difference between passion and interest and what can interfere with our life and values. Now we understand all these things. Why do we continue to do these things to ourselves and we get in our own way? Uh, Throughout the different positions that we put ourselves in trying to find these great careers, we run into many roadblocks and we see what we can do to get past these roadblocks, to get past the laziness, to get past the excuses, but we don't want to push past it for whatever reason that may be. And it's something we have to look at deep within ourselves and figure out what we really want. There's a word or a phrase, if you will, and it's if only. That's one of the ones that cuts deepest to the bone. As we pursue our passions and our dreams and our great career, you will fail at some point. Everybody will. And you'll have to learn from that and take that experience forward with you as you move to the next level and figuring out what you want and what you have to do to get there, what kind of sacrifices need to be made. Now, that pain that comes from failing, that does hurt, but it will never hurt as bad as the words if only. Because if you do not take that moment to pursue that passion and that dream, you will always be left with if only. And that will not go away easily. It will continue to be with you until the last breath you have. So, in my own opinion and in my group's opinion, we would all agree that it is far easier to take that leap and try and fail than it is to live with if only to your last day. Thank you so much for your time.